All right. So the audio's fixed now. We don't have that issue. That's really good, isn't it? Oh, shit, man. Like, I get a new thing, and I'm really excited to use the new thing. And then I look at the new thing, and I realize it is all just fucked up. So that's how my night's been going, mainly. Fucked up new things. Oh, shit. I'm taking a look in the chat room. I see you guys. You assholes are still hanging around for some reason. No clue why. It's good to see you. Everybody out there safe? Nobody in Florida? Nobody out in the Keys or anything? Getting their asses kicked by storms? Everybody's okay? Good. Good. Oh, shit, man. The gain on this thing's way up there. Sorry. I didn't realize it was, like, blowing you the fuck out right now. So, yeah, this is the new camera. Oh, man. So, where do we start? I guess we can start with, like, fucking TinyPaws, can't we? And talk about some of that shit. Yeah, TinyPaws was really nice. It really was. It was a much more, like, relaxing convention than what I'm kind of used to. There was no frantic running around. Obviously, it's much smaller. It's the first year. But, you know, there was none of that frantic running around and, like, 5 panels shit and all of that. I was on for 3 panels. I did 3 panels. So that was really neat. The vibe at TinyPaws was really neat, too. Most of the conventions I've been to since you motherfuckers just kind of dragged me into this, I've been these big affairs. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of people. A lot of different panels. Interesting things. But this one was really laid back. Smaller people. Most of the panels were about arts and crafts. A lot of families. That was good to see. A lot of families. A lot of people with kids. Yeah. So it's one of those where they kind of made it a family atmosphere. Their theme was like a summer camp, and that was kind of neat because that's what it was. And I'm going to do a write-up on them. But it's one of those, I really was impressed with that idea. I haven't really seen a lot of the family-friendly things that were going on there, especially in the furry community. Where there were a lot of children coming in and making paper masks and having a lot of fun. So that was really neat to see. The Beckwar in there, our sentient bucktooth garage door was there. I got to hang out and talk to him a bit, and that was really neat. It's always nice when I go to these things to put like actual faces to whatever weird, outlandish cartoon feature has shown up on my Twitter feed over the past few months. Oh, man. But yeah. So this is the new camera. Much clearer. I mean, I'm looking at myself because that's my favorite thing to look at. No, it fucking isn't. And, I mean, it's just amazing. You can see over my shoulder now. Alkali's picture has been taken out of my office temporarily and placed in here as I get a much better frame for it to go to the office with. So there we go. That's where that is. Now I'm watching the chat, and you guys want to talk about something, you pop right the fuck in, because I don't have a lot tonight. So I'm just going to kind of go on whatever tangent you want me to. Outside of that, hey, we're here. We're doing all this stuff. Everything's like copacetic, I guess. So that's where I am this evening. The red is popping out more. Thank you very much for pointing out how much the red pops out now. Really nice to see that. I can even see the oh wait, that's the front door. Yes, it is. That is my front door. I live in an old house. I have an old front door. So, go fuck yourself. I love it. Like somebody pops in and goes, "Oh wow, that's what you look like," and I haven't seen them since. So that's the probably the best part of having a much clearer camera is I get the exact same reaction that I used to get at bars when I was single. Oh wow, that's what you look like. Bye, motherfucker. Uh, so there's the first benefit. You can figure out exactly what I look like and run the fuck away if you want. Um, oh yeah, hold on. Somebody just told me there's the YouTube link wasn't up. Yeah, I'm still getting the hang of this, and eventually I'll figure out like how to link all of this shit up in one place, so it's not so much of a hectic shit show every time I do it. Today is not that fucking day. Today is the day where I'm like, I'm tired. I had the convention. I have to record content for the Patreon guys later. On top of that, I am a fucking practicing lawyer, so I have to do that shit too. So it's been a lot of fun lately. You can tell. Look, this is the face of a man who has had a lot of rest lately, isn't it? It most certainly fucking is. Oh, shit. How about we talk about making the admission that we all knew you would make? Yada, yada, yada. Go to hell. I can smell the smoker from here now. No, you can't smell my smoke from here now. I have my windows open and a Glade plug-in. Did Captain Eyebrows get a persona? Yes, Captain Eyebrows got a persona. Captain Eyebrows is a sparkle dog. And thank you guys for making that happen if you were at TinyPaws. That was the best thing ever to watch him Google sparkle dog to figure out what it was and come back with like terms I've never heard. Now it's like I've been here for a long time, but they were terms I'm more familiar with, like a wolfaboo. I wasn't aware that sparkle dogs are also called wolfaboos. So Captain Eyebrow is now at least 10% furrier than I am. So there we go on that part. The TinyPaws, the city councilman thing, finally saying I said nothing of the sort, Dante. I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, let's talk about the councilman thing a little bit, guys. Yeah, I wrote about that a bit today, and really here's my impression on it. This was small town bullshit politics. This was one guy who doesn't like another guy, or the councilman who is a member of the furry community named Gray Muzzle was rubbing people the wrong way. But the important thing is there's an election coming up. And anytime there's an election coming up and you have yourself in one of those positions where people are going to look at you, you can bet your ass they will. So when they look at you, what happens? 9 times out of 10, what's going to end up happening is they're going to do the best they can to destroy you with whatever information you have out there. So Gray Muzzle apparently has never been secretive about being a furry. He's never felt the need to hide it. He's never felt the need to say, no, this isn't what I am. No, this isn't what I do. No, you're thinking of somebody else. He's always been very open with that. In his personal life, probably with the same opinion I would take. What does it fucking matter? It doesn't affect me professionally, and it doesn't affect who I am. But with an election coming up, somebody searched him, and they found his So Furry account, which is something else I learned about through getting this news article, was the existence of So Furry. But they logged in, they got his account, they saw that he had what could be some questionable things marked as tolerated or liked. And they kind of spread that out there, Instead of he tolerates fiction that may in some way touch on or feature a rape scene or is an erotic fiction regarding rape, which is an actual fetish, guys. There's a rape fetish out there. I mean, but like most things, if it's in stories like that, it's not my cup of tea, and I may think it's horrible, but it's a story. And we have a lot of stories with rape in them. and underage shit in them, and some great works of fiction. We'll have those in there. And you think about Lolita. That's all that fucking book is underage shit. Somewhere in a basement, there's some big fat motherfucker like jerking off to Nabokov at this moment. Jerking off to Nabokov. I like that. I'm going to name something that jerking off to Nabokov. But that's going to happen. But it's fiction. It's fictional. But what they did, obviously, was they took that and they used that as, oh, look, he tolerates rape. And not, oh, look, he tolerates fictional works that have rape in them. That's the part that I don't like. That's the part that I disagree with. Because I've met the man, I've talked to the man. I don't think he actually tolerates rape. But that's a very thin line, I guess, to some people, of a fictional story and something else like that. And it was a political hit piece. Now, what happens is, man likes questionable fetish porn is not such a good headline. Man dresses up as animal and reads rape porn or tolerates rape is a real attention-grabbing headline. So, of course, that comes out, and the highlight is the Councilman's secret furry life, which wasn't a secret. And, of course, anytime something weird happens, the major media jumps on it because, Lord knows, we had nothing better to talk about last fucking week than a councilman in New Milford, Connecticut. Show of fucking hands, who even knew where New Milford was before this even happened? Frankly, guys, I didn't even know New Milford fucking existed before this story. So, it's not news. It's small town political bullshit, but because there's one or two tee-hee, look at this weird shit moment in it, that's why it's in the New York Post. That's why it's in the LA Times. That's why it's this big story. And I'm sure that Grey Muzzle would have liked nothing better than for this to just fucking die. But the second it showed up and to be quite frank, had it just shown up in the Danbury News Times, I wouldn't have said anything about it. Because that's, to me, not news that needs to go far and wide. Like if he was fighting it openly, then I probably would have. But the fact that he was writing said to me, he wants this to die. He wants this to go away. But the moment it gets into the New York Post and the New York Daily News, that's done. It's no longer the Danbury News Times. It's a tabloid that is read by millions of people. So everyone's going to know that. And that's when I said, okay, well, it's out there. So we might as well address it. But frankly, I think it's a shame. Because if you hadn't had a chance to meet Grey Muzzle, I met him at Furthermore, which was the first convention you guys dragged me into. And my real forefront of my brain image of him is he's sitting in the front row of the charity auction. He's just bidding on these items and driving the bids up. And somebody walked up to me afterwards and said he's a professional. He's worked a long time, and he likes to spend his money helping the charities and helping the community. And I thought that was great, because that's a very generous person. Guys, if I ever had that much money, I love you, but you're not fucking getting any of it. It's my money. It's my money, my money. You don't get rich by giving it away. And I'm a curmudgeonly bastard, and I don't give away shit. I'll give you my time. I'll work to raise money. If I have given to charity, I'm never fucking admitting it. It doesn't fit with my persona. But this guy was the opposite. The furry fandom had given so much to him that he liked going to conventions and giving back by helping those charity totals, by helping the public perception of your fandom. And speaking with me, he's a very intelligent man. He's a very well-spoken man. He has been a lawyer for a long time. And you don't run your own office as a lawyer for a long time and have money like that to burn. I mean, guys, I know plenty of old lawyers who don't have money where they can bid $1,000-something on a Tron piece of furry art. But he's had that, and he's put it out there. So he's obviously a successful attorney, and this was a political hit. It was small town political bullshit that went much bigger and could really end up impacting somebody in your community. So, I mean, whether you agree with the fetish stuff that may or may not be there, recognize that that is the reason the political part happened, but it's not why it's getting such big press, and it's not why the people are making these comments. It's getting that big press because of the furry part, and then they're linking it into the fetish part. And it's not his fault, because if any of you motherfuckers tell me you're not into some weird shit, I'm gonna call you a goddamn liar. Just flat out, I'm gonna call you a goddamn liar. And it's not like he put it out there and advertised it and talked about it. This was somebody going into his personal life, pulling that information and sticking it out in the public, and then the media making that connection. So to analogize it, treat it as if somebody went into your house, pulled your internet search history after a night of frantic masturbation or something on a Friday or Saturday, because you're all lonely fuckers. I am too. It's okay. We'll be lonely together. But imagine somebody doing that and then publishing it in the paper the next day, and the headline is just furry jerks off to weird shit. You're going to jerk off to the weird shit whether you're a furry or not. The front part's not important, and you didn't ask anybody to make that connection and tar the whole community. So if you know Gray Muzzle, if you've talked to him, remember he's a very generous person. He's done a lot for your community, and stand beside him. At least reach out and say, hey, I'm sorry this happened, even if you don't want to be close, or even if you don't agree with the kinks, because there's absolutely no evidence this has moved any further than reading and possibly writing some fiction. So that's that. That's the Congressman thing. That's where we are on that one. Yeah. Wasn't that a lot of fun? Don't get me going on this shit, guys. People are just genuinely fucked up all over. It doesn't change. We're all fucked up. I'm fucked up. You're fucked up. Everybody's fucked up out there. We have a congressman who was sending pictures of his dick to underage girls. And his name was Weiner. And I'm going to tell you, it does not get more fucking surreal in this world than having a congressman named Weiner sending pictures of his cock to underage girls. Okay? Leofric Greywolf is saying he sounds like he has an opportunity for a lawsuit. Probably not. Without going into a lot of detail. It's not like this was locked in a security box and somebody went out there. It was on a SoFurry profile. Anybody who, it wasn't marked like completely to private. I'm not really sure how it works, but that's my understanding. Anybody who logged into SoFurry and looked him up would have found it and would have been able to see it. And quite frankly, guys, defamation's a hard case to make. It's a really hard case to make. You don't win them that often. And being a public figure like he was, and he was a public figure, he was an elected official, it becomes even harder to make a defamation case against people. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, I almost want to say the Streisand Effect, but fuck that, because the Streisand Effect's out the fucking window. It's already happened. The opportunity for him to hunker down and resign, which was likely a political decision made in conjunction with the local Democratic board. That I looked into it. They have elections coming up. It's a very tough town for Democrats. So that was probably a decision that he, as a longtime Democrat, made to help the party there, which is in and of itself very honorable. But it's unlikely that he would want to make that fight, and I can understand that, because guys, the second part of this, and I used to say this to to young gay kids a lot. I was one of the officers at my college's Gay Straight Alliance. And there were always these kids who said, I want to do more. I want to go march. I want to do this. I want to do that. But I'm very worried about people finding out. It will really negatively impact my life. If, say, my parents find out right now, they won't continue to pay for my college. And here's the sad fact. Not everyone can be Harvey Milk, is what I would tell them. Harvey Milk was a very public gay activist. And he was a city councilman in San Francisco. He was actually assassinated. But he's very public, very in-your-face gay activist. And what I would tell these kids is not everyone can be Harvey Milk. Some people just do it quietly, and you only have to be as involved in something or as much of an activist for something as you're comfortable being. And some people are willing to go out there and give it their all, and some people aren't. Some people are willing to stand in the background and support and give money or work quietly towards things, and that's okay too. You can't force everybody to be a frontline soldier. And if you do, and it really isn't a life or death situation, you're really negatively impacting people. I mean, I don't know. I'm looking at the chat right now. I'm seeing some of you guys talk. How many people here are familiar with, like, Perez Hilton? Like, Perez Hilton, not Paris Hilton, the vapid bitch with the dogs. Perez Hilton. Perez Hilton is a very, very gay man who runs a website, and he was a big deal a while back. But one of the things he was doing, like, I think maybe a decade ago, which is like dating me right now, was he was outing gay celebrities. And his justification for doing so was that it helped overall. If you force them out of the closet, you force them into the spotlight. But that's a personal decision for people. And you shouldn't be forcing people to change their whole lives by that. And that was kind of the same thing here. You can't force someone to fight for something you want them to fight for. If they do, great. But what you can do, whether they do fight or not, is remember they're a member of your community and support them as much as you can. Oh man. Yeah, we still got this going on. How many viewers do I even fucking have right now? Like, I have no clue what's going on. 44 people. Holy shit. So you like the new camera? Jesus. Yeah. Tigger Pup 91 says he remembers the actors being forced out because that was something that could damage their career, and that's very, very much the truth. At that point in time, if you came out, you were either going to be stereotyped as the gay friend in a lot of things, or you weren't going to get any roles. And very candidly, if you want to know my opinion of what kind of changed that, Neil Patrick Harris was probably one of the biggest things that changed that, because he took all these roles as these very womanizing characters. And in reality, he's gay and has a husband and kids and a settled home life. And so it would show depth on there. So yeah. Yeah, Jim Nabors. Drew Hunter is bringing up Jim Nabors. Do you guys know who Jim Nabors is? To the younger guys, if you've ever seen the Andy Griffith Show, Jim Nabors was Gomer Pyle. Golly! That's Jim Nabors, and he's a wonderful singer. He's a very fun actor. He's also very gay. I mean, very gay. Really gay. And if you want some fun, look up some of his music, because it's all gospel music. And occasionally I go, thank God my grandma died before Gomer came out of the closet. So, yeah. Ellen and Rosie O'Donnell, great examples of what can happen. Both of them kind of got locked onto. I remember when Ellen came out and they made that an episode of her show at the time. She wasn't just a talk show host for the younger guys. She was a very successful sitcom star at the time. She had a really good sitcom called Ellen. And they made an episode about the character Ellen discovering that she are coming out as a lesbian, which was kind of a shift in the character because a whole lot of the show up to that point was Ellen getting in and out of relationships and stuff like that. But when the character Ellen came out, that was a huge deal. I mean, people were protesting. People were talking about boycotts. That was huge. And just in my lifetime, to see that advancement in society to the point where, like, a character being gay is like, how dare you make them gay? And fanboys bitch on the internet for the next 20 days after it fucking happens before they accept it and go back to watching the goddamn show because that doesn't matter, really. You know, back in those days, there were people who, like, would stop watching anything with an actor or actress in it if it became known they were gay. And it wasn't that long ago that was the case. It really was not that long ago. So, you know, as much work as we have to do going forward, society has changed a lot just in the past 20, 25 years towards that. Talking about society changing, holy shit. I'm not going to do that thing where I point out it's 9/11. We all fucking know it's 9/11. But man, shit has changed in the last 16 years too, hasn't it? Oh, let's lighten the mood. What do you say? Let's hold on. Let's lighten the mood here. So I was at TinyPaws this weekend, and we came home with a new roommate. I have a new roommate now. He's a little bit of a dick. He's a little bit of a prick. And he doesn't like me too much. And now he's sad. I've made him... It's okay. It's okay. Come on. Come on. Come on. That's right. Are you okay? All right. You want to go back down? Oh. I knew you'd like that. I saw that and then, oh God, he has a puppet now. Yes, I have a puppet now. Oh, the puppet's going to get bigger too. Oh, Lord. I need to learn ventriloquism. I don't know ventriloquism. I'm never going to learn ventriloquism. But you know, what's his name? His name is just the Badger. He's just the Badger. There's no other name for him, right? Do you have anything you want to say? As I grow bigger, Boozy goes away. Yay! This is how it starts, Boozy. A fun hand puppet now, and the next thing you know, you're on the Fun Day Puppet Show for a 4-hour show. Guys, I'm not the only one with the puppet. I believe that grandiose Toad had a puppet that we have ruined him. Boozy and the Badger. You guys like this puppet way too fucking much. The Badger sounds ominous, like a B-movie title. Oh, dear God. Oh. I'll tell you what. Yeah, you're scared of the Badger? Oh, God. This is what happens when you leave me unattended at a convention. And Toad can tell you, we went outside and he has his goat, Buster Bleaton. And they sat there, Buster Bleaton and the Badger, and talked for like the better part of 20 minutes on a bench with comments like, I smell money. Yay! Oh, Lord. This is what I do now. This is what I do. I get a fucking hand puppet. An interesting hand puppet. I put it on my hand. and it takes over my personality. You know, he does nice things. He rubs his little fucking hands together. He plays peekaboo. Peekaboo! You know, shit like that. This is what happens. When people don't keep an eye on me, I start doing this shit. And it's really no surprise you assholes, like, yanked me in so much because I just have horrible fucking judgment, guys. I have horrible judgment. So yeah, there's a badger puppet now. There may be an otter puppet as well hanging out around here somewhere. But yeah, so I'm assuming you guys want me to put the fucking badger away now, right? He's gone from lore to puppeteer. I think putting the puppet away is probably the best idea. But yeah, the puppet lives on the pieces of me that die every day, and as I grow smaller, he grows stronger. So one day you're going to turn into one of these streams. It's just gonna be me staring dead-eyed at the camera, not saying anything at all, and then out of nowhere, just Boozy's not here anymore. Come play with me. Boozy's not here right now, only Badger. Yeah, it's about accurate. Oh, wow, guys. So we've been going, what, like 30 fucking minutes now? Good. I like being on these things for 30 fucking minutes, getting the stream worked out. You know what? While we're sitting here, I'm going to pimp some shit. First of all, you know, I've been going to a shit ton of cons. I'm likely going to MFF. I'm likely going to First Squared. I plan on going to Furthermore. And hey, that shit costs money. So, yeah, if by some chance of fate you like the shit I do, there's a Ko-fi. It's www.kofi.com/lawyersandliquor. You can donate cash via PayPal. It's just paypal.me/lawyersandliquor. Or you can go check out my Patreon under Boozy Barrister. Right now, I have 3 support levels. The first one, you get a fucking missive. The second one, you get the missive and like a 30-minute audio recording that I'm sending out to everybody. The third level, the missive, the audio recording, and you get a 24-hour preview of all of the Friday posts, which is the Film Friday, the Freaky Friday, the Fetish Friday, and the Furry Friday before they go up live on the site. Additionally, I have a new camera. I'm going to start streaming more. But yeah, if you guys feel the need to toss cash at me for doing this shit, go to either one of those. Alejandro asks, how do I get that much vacation? I don't. Quite frankly, I don't close my office down to go to conventions. If they're within like a 5-hour driving distance, I just drive to them after work on Friday after I close the office. And then I drive back Sunday nights. If they're further, then I would have to catch a flight out on late Friday evening and back on late Sunday evening, so I can be back in the office to open on Monday. I don't close my office down early for pretty much anything because my clients need me there. So I will likely be at MFF if I can swing it and go do all of that shit as well. As a matter of fact, Alkali contacted me the other day and said, what panels do you want to do? I'm submitting some, and I said, just put me down for fucking all of them. That's probably how it's going to go anyways. Yeah, I'm not doing like a booze stream tonight, guys. It's a work night. That means I actually have to get up and do shit tomorrow. So there's not going to be any drinking of hard liquor on this stream, more than likely. Unless, you know, money starts coming in. You got to send money. I'll start doing fucking shots. I got no problem. But those are the big things. So what else can we talk about? Because, guys, I don't have any plan for this. This isn't like I sat down and I wrote a fucking script. Really, I was just getting on to test out the fucking camera, and I figured, what the fuck, I'll do a stream at the same time. Because, it's either that or sit the fuck around and do nothing. So, I can take some fucking questions. I can hold on. Hey, Toad, are you there? Toad. Oh, wow. I know he's fucking there. Why am I? There's a delay. I'm an idiot. There's a delay in the chat. Like, I'm looking in the chat room going, there's a fucking delay. How much you need, motherfucker. All of it. But yeah, that is one of the things I need to start doing, is actually doing this shit for donations and putting up reward levels on Patreon and shit, so I can at least cover some of my fucking expenses on this. But that's a conversation for another time. Like I say, everything you guys give is completely fucking voluntary. I'm going to continue doing this shit probably no matter what. But yeah, so there's the Ko-fi, there's the PayPal link, there's the Patreon. If you like that shit, go for it. What has been the most entertaining moment for me at a FurCon? Oh man. I'm not sure. Because there's been a lot of good ones. At Anthrocon, we had been given a handler. I imagine with very strict instructions to keep us away from the weird shit. And we're back in the art show, and they've got like the main art show. It's all PG, real safe for work type of stuff. And then there's this one like blacked out area, like curtains and everything. And our handler gets called to a meeting, like a staff meeting. He goes, "I'll be right back." And we go, "Okay." And he takes off, and me and Captain Eyebrows look at each other and go, "Okay, Dad's gone. Let's go look at porn." So we go back into the cordoned off area. And here's what we hear when we go back to the cordoned off area. So that's what a giant alligator man's penis looks like. And that was the highlight of that convention for me. I still laugh about that. Just he takes off, and we're just both, let's go look at the porn. Watching the staff at Furrydelphia scramble for your wine. I never did get that fucking wine. I have a problem with that. I got the sodas. I didn't get the wine. So let's see. Folks, at least you just hit the subscribe and like button. The more is better, but anything can do. How's Basement Con planning going? Basement Con planning is going wonderful. I have located a hotel. It's the Coco Motel in Hershey, Pennsylvania. You should go look it up. It's got 8 beautiful rooms, none of which have been updated since the 1940s. They have something called a picture room there. It is the room they use when they want to take pictures because it's the nicest looking one on the site. And trust me, if you look at it, you'll very quickly figure out what the rest of this place is like if that's what they think the nice rooms should look like. But 8 beautiful rooms, no working air conditioning, no lobby, just a giant cracked parking lot and a McDonald's across the street. I am looking forward to Basement Con. And guys, you think I'm fucking kidding. I'm not. If I can arrange a goddamn charity stream to go with it, I will start inviting people to Basement Con. Figure out a way to stream it for 24 hours a day just so you can watch them get tortured at panels such as Panda's Guide to Pulling Fire Alarms. Shit like that, all for charity. I'll do it because I'm that goddamn insane. I don't have enough going on right now that I want to stop and, fucking breathe anytime soon. Oh my God. Artix Blackclaw says he knows the Coco Motel. Artix, so does the Hershey Police. Boozy, my little brother, says hi, and he wants to know how you got on Alligator Man Penis's Toad. I was telling the story about how Captain Eyebrows and I snuck into the porn art show at Anthrocon. Have I ever had a moment at a con that really tugged on the old heartstrings? I have had a lot of those, mainly with the charity shit. Furthermore, there was one gentleman who was in the lobby. He'd been having a great weekend. I'd actually been watching him the whole weekend. And he'd been having such a great time, and it's Sunday, and he's just sobbing because he has to go home. The one that impressed me the most, though, is still at Anthrocon. They had Anthrocon tonight, and they pulled people out of the audience. And they're on stage, and they're doing all part of the show, and this person gets up there. And they're leaning into the mic to do their part of this audience participation thing. And they look out, and they see this sea of faces. And guys, I don't know. For me, it kind of comes naturally because of what I do for a living. But a lot of people aren't good at speaking in front of crowds, and they freeze very quickly. And that's what happened. They froze. They looked out. They saw all the people. They got stage fright, and they turned and they ran off stage. A lot of places, and a lot of communities, and a lot of groups, and a lot of shows, people would start laughing right then. They would have broken down laughing. At Anthrocon tonight, the audience didn't laugh. The audience didn't say a word. There wasn't any heckling. There wasn't anything like that. What did happen was Alkali Bismuth, who was on stage helping with this stuff, immediately takes off his fucking top hat and takes off after them behind the stage to make sure they're okay. Uncle Kage, who's sitting like the seat next to me, stands up and walks backstage to make sure they're okay. Tien Long stands up and walks backstage to make sure this person's okay. Because they got up there, they were scared, they froze, they ran off the stage. But that was the big thing. There was no laughter. And 3 big guys in your community immediately, their first reaction was, let's make sure this kid's all right. And that's impressive. I mean, like, that's really impressive. Nelson Demifer wants to know, have you met Uncle Kage and would you go on stage with him to drink? I have done both of those things. I met him at AC and was on stage drinking there. And then we were on stage drinking at IFC together when I drove 9 hours through the goddamn night to Indianapolis to do stuff on Saturday there. I was on stage with him there as well. And he's fucking hilarious. It's nice to see like a professional get that weird and do all that stuff. But I found it, and I certainly would. Any day, any time, any place, I would certainly go back on stage and drink with Kage again. Let's see. You have reached the pinnacle to furry, and that is to do stupid shit just because. Just about. Alkali has a heart of gold and a liver the size of he certainly does. Guys, Alkali Bismuth is going to kill me for saying this. He is probably the most good-hearted person I have ever fucking met. He is a man who genuinely cares about the charities and who genuinely cares about the people in your community. He's a good comedian, and he's just a genuinely good person. And that's rare. And the thing is he's representative of a good number of people in the furry community. He's not like an outlier. He's not like the one nice guy. He is a representative of a lot of you guys who are just so nice and such open-armed people. And I hate to say it, that's one of the reasons I'm here. Is you guys are so nice and so open-armed, and something in the back of my head says you should hang around and make sure these guys don't get fucked too much. Because when you run into generous people, the first thing a lot of people do is, how can I take advantage of it? And I genuinely like you guys. I like this community, and I like what's going on. And I like the underdog. So, like I said on Twitter last week, you guys got me. I'm here now. Until you piss me off, I'm here now. So that's the big part of Alkali, who's just really a sweet guy. Now, I will admit to one thing is there are times that I sit there and I go, I can't wait till the next time I'm on stage with Alkali because I just thought of the best fucking zinger for him. So yeah, there's that too. So that's the first part. A Boozy Alkali Pandas and Kage panel. Let's find a liquor store and drink it. It better have a good wine selection if you're putting Kage in on that one. And yeah, with Alkali, it just better have liquor. That's all it needs. Pandas, oh man, he's a really nice guy too. I said I drove like 9 fucking hours to Indy FurCon on sort of a whim because I did a fucking drive on one of these things to help a convention offset some expenses. And I said, if it gets to a certain point, I'll drive my ass to Indianapolis this weekend and do a charity show with Alkali. I didn't expect you all to hit that point. So good on you for calling my fucking bluff. Assholes. B, like, this was all really spur of the moment. So Pandas reached out and goes, if you're coming, you can stay in my room. Now keep in mind, this is his con. He's was the con chair. He just recently stepped down because they do a 3-year cycle. But he was offering, while he was busier than hell, let me stay in his room to share the room with him, since I wasn't really expecting to go to IFC. So I graciously took him up on that. Well, I get in at like 3 a.m. And all this dude really has to do is put me on the hotel reg so that I can walk over and grab a key. He doesn't have to stay up. But I get in at 3 a.m. and he has waited up all fucking night so that when I got there, he could say hello. And that's really nice. Let's find a liquor store. Furries, we do stupid shit to ourselves for charity. Yes, we do. That's like the thing I love. I actually, at TinyPaws this weekend, I walked up to Kigra and Nobody, the con chairs, and I looked at him and I said, now you need to understand, for the next 48 hours, I am your meat puppet for the charity. Make me do as you will. And they didn't run me ragged. They actually let me do the 3 things I was listed to do, which was the mountain music panel, the contracts panel, and the panel with all the lawyers with some great guys. And I played a charity poker game too. I didn't do too bad. And then they let me kind of chill. They let me relax a little, and that was nice. Not that the other cons are like fucking work slave and fucking whipping me like a goddamn mule. Although, there's a drop down. I'm not going to finish. I'll get sued. Kage may have trademarked that. But it was nice to like be there and be at a smaller convention and be able to like go and spend time in the fucking craft room with one of my kids and stuff like that. That was really nice. Yes, I did. That is Slide Wolf in there. You played poker with us too. Yes, I did. I mentioned the poker. I got to meet Boozy Monday morning at AC. No, you didn't, Ace, because I wasn't there Monday morning. You met me Sunday morning at AC. We met Sunday morning. And I know this because on Sunday, right after closing, I got the fuck out of there. I drove back. So that's the first thing. Now, guys, I know I said I wasn't going to be drinking, and I'm not drinking. I'm just opening the wine, and if some happens to fall into my fucking glass and then fall into my mouth, so fucking be it. Tonight I will be drinking a Big Red Blend called The Original Dark Horse. The Original Dark Horse Big Red Blend. I have no fucking clue where it came from. I am pretty fucking sure QM bought it simply because it's called Dark Horse at this point. So yeah. Oh, let's see if I can get this open without like fucking destroying myself, okay? I was surprised to hear you play Munchkin and Catan. What other board or card games do you play, Boozy? Give me a second to... Oh, there we go. Get that out and put it in my extra fancy plastic camp wine glass. There we go. What other games do I play? I play Magic the Gathering. I haven't played it in a while, but I do have a good sized card collection there. I also like a lot of different board games. A lot of different board games. The weirder the board game, kind of the better with me. I like stuff like the Jack the Ripper board game. I like that. Uh, Call of Cthulhu was always a fun one. I play the Deadlands board game. I think it's called Deadwood. I play that, which is kind of a board and card game. I also used to do a lot of tabletop role playing. Lately, not so much. I don't have a group anymore, and I can't find people who are willing to do it on D20. So I don't tabletop as much as I did, but I still have dice somewhere around here. So that's a lot of fun. Boozy has children. What would they be called? We call them the baby badgers right now. But you said you're surprised that I have children, and that worries me. That I have children. You sit there and you go, "Oh, Boozy has children," but have you not met my new son, the Badger? What do people think? What do I think about the shitstorm going on with Furnace Affinity and their terms of service? Man, Jasper. I think For Affinity is a private company, ran by a private company. I've taken a look at their terms of service. They have a modification clause in it that actually says we can modify these documents at any time. We don't have to give you notice. Notice will be posted in our update section. It's your responsibility to read it. And it'll take effect 14 days after we give this notice. So there's that. The big thing is like the terms of service change with we're banning this type of imagery stuff took place on like the 4th. So they got, arguably like, what, 7 more days before it's really effective under their terms of service. So there is that. But, people suing them over it. For fuck's sake, guys, get the fuck over it. Really, get the fuck over it. It's one of those things that's just going to cause a huge problem. And that's the thing is people do that want to cause a huge problem. They want to make a point. They want to say it's unfair to me, therefore we shouldn't do it. But the most they're going to have is a breach of a prior contract claim, and you're not going to be able to force them to revert back to where they were before. Hey, guys, that Citizens United case that all the conservatives really fucking liked? That's the case that says corporations have First Amendment rights. So that's a fucking double-edged sword. If a private company can have a First Amendment right to donate to a political group, or to exclude, or can have, like in Hobby Lobby, freedom of religion in some cases, to exclude birth control from their medical plan, the other edge of that sword is the parent company of For Affinity can have the First Amendment right to say, not on our fucking platform. So it's really a purely contractual matter at this point in time. And I think that contract going forward in about 7 more days, they'll have abided by all the terms of the contract. It shouldn't be an issue. So what we're really kind of looking at is a question of, is the injury sustainable enough at this point, and what damages would they have, if anything. But quite frankly, I'm just not going to look at everything in that one, guys, because as much as I love going through dumbass legal things, that's just like fucking giving people a bullhorn to talk. And some of the people who are getting pissed off like this are people that I just really prefer not to give a platform to through my site and my media, unless it's a really fucking big deal and it has to be talked about. So yeah, that's where I am on the fur affinity and the terms of service stuff. Um, let's see. The furry soft sit that does cease and desist letter didn't even have blade problem. I take issue with the term soft sit being applied. Their sovereign citizens generally don't believe that they are beholden to the courts, and they don't respect the process of the courts, and they kind of believe that they can do their own thing. So I take a little bit of an issue with everybody saying the person who's doing the fur affinity letter is a sovereign citizen, because he is actually threatening to draft a lawsuit, file with the courts, and follow the proper legal process, or attempt to have the claim heard. And that's just not one of those hallmarks of the sovereign citizen movement. So there we are. Oh, what else do we got? What else is going on out there, guys? Oh shit, QM's here. Not here. QM is most likely at the family farm tonight because they work early in the morning. Oh my God, that wine is horrible. That is terrible. Oh. Ugh. Jesus Christ. Who bought that? Wow. Ah. Ugh. Here's a question for you guys. On Wednesdays, I'm going to start trying to do a game stream over on the Twitch channel and then post it up here like on a Friday or something. I have been doing Dream Daddy. Here's the truth of Dream Daddy. I am getting fucking worn out on Dream Daddy, and I need to take a small break from it. So I was thinking of doing like classic adventure games. One of them that I would like to do is the Quest for Glory games, and if there's any interest in that, please let me know, because that's something that'd be the really nice that I'd love to do. So yeah, what punishment did the dog get for pillow destruction? Absolutely none. He's actually asleep on the floor next to me right now, being cute and lovey. The problem is that this dog has only 3 legs, so I can't really do anything more to him at this point. The worst has fucking happened unless I want to take off another fucking leg. So he doesn't get punished for anything. He gets fussed at, and then he looks really sad and goes off somewhere and does it the fuck again the next time. Him destroying pillows is nothing new. Alejandro says, Leisure Suit Larry. Alejandro, until motherfuckers start donating money for me to buy things like the Leisure Suit Larry pack, we're going with the games I already have on my computer. And that means we are at the Sierra Adventure Pack games, which did not include Leisure Suit Larry, or we are very, very likely looking at Day of the Tentacle, which is on sale right now. So one of those would be preferable. Ace, yes, he is according to his breed registration, he is a lab mix. Because pit bulls are dangerous animals in the county where we got him. So if he was registered as a pit bull or identified as a pit bull, we would have had to have registered him as a vicious animal. So he is a lab mix. Just not very much of a mix. So where else are we tonight? Oh, wow. We got like 14 minutes before I call this thing, because at 10 o'clock I'm off of here. I'm going to go watch some BoJack Horseman Season 4, because I've seen the rest of them. So, Day of the Tentacle. I have 1 vote for Day of the Tentacle. But it said, Artie said, Quest for Glory, Grandiose Toes on the Sierra Adventure Pack. Oh, shucks, I'm mighty. No, sweetie, you're not. I'm going to get smacked for that later. Oh, but yeah, Day of the Tentacle. I've seen enough hentai to know how that will end. No, you haven't. Day of the Tentacle was not one of those that went that way. Quotation mark says Oregon Trail. Yeah, but that means either you or one of the kids is dying of dysentery. I hate those dangerous dog laws. I guess I could explain where those come from. Here's the deal with the dangerous dog laws. Okay. I did a while back a piece on the website, lawyersandliquor.com, about animal laws and about ownership liability. And there's this concept in law we kind of call one free bite. And the idea is that if an animal does not have like an inherently dangerous nature, like a breed of animal, a type of animal, not like one specific animal, then there's no way you could know it would attack somebody, and you can't be negligent in your care and control of it. So each dog got one free bite before you could attach liability to the owner to pay medical expenses or shit like that, or pain and suffering, like severe damages. Some of these big breeds can do a lot of damage. So there was this rash of certain mutt breeds of pit bulls attacking kids, and it wasn't even really a rash. It was kind of like kids were always in the area where the dogs weren't really well cared for. But it was always a pit bull, because I don't know why, but every asshole in the world goes out and buys a fucking pit bull. I'm a very firm believer in the concept that there's no such thing as a bad dog. There is definitely such a thing as a bad fucking owner. And all the bad owners apparently want to go buy fucking pit bulls, not train them, make them aggressive because they're guard dogs, and then they like fucking kill a 3-year-old. Because they've never been socialized, and they've been smacked and shit to make them mean, or they've been half starved, and but that's shit that happens. So a lot of municipalities, because of this one free bite thing, said, here's a list of dogs that we're going to say are automatically dangerous. So owning them is enough to make you liable if something happens, which I didn't really like. But there's ways around it, like my lab mix. So there's those two things. What else do we have, guys? Because we got like 10 minutes to kill here before we're out. Once again, I'll pimp the ways that you can toss money at the Badger, which I will then put on my bed and roll around in the nude while laughing to myself, and then go out and make a bunch of bad decisions with it, like, hey, what plane ticket or credit card that I've used to pay for shit am I going to pay down with this? You can toss it to me through the Ko-fi link that you can find on the website, or actually on this YouTube page as well. If you look at the banner in the top of my YouTube channel, there's a link to that. You can go to paypal.me/lawyersandliquor. That sends money directly to my PayPal account. Or if you really want to support me, you can go to the Patreon and sign up at $1, $5, or $10 levels. Each has their own set of accruing rewards. We're going to be adding one with a private stream at some point in the very near future, once I figure out the really nice streaming software that came with this camera. What I use that cash for when I get it. I use it for the site. I use it for some ongoing projects. Like I said, we have the podcast still in the works. We've just got to get the funding up for the website and finish editing a couple things, and then that's going to be up. I use it to buy materials on this stuff, to help offset the expenses of going to conventions and doing the fucking charity shows and meeting you guys. And things like that. It's not, I sit here, I do nothing, I take your fucking money, and then I go buy crack with it. Although, if you want me to go buy crack with it, I'll go buy crack with it. So, Alejandro, that's just enough time to tell us what happened in Atlanta. Alejandro, as I've said many times before, that is most definitely a you have to get me drunk first story before I tell it. That's one of those stories that I will tell very readily if you get me drunk. But you have to get me drunk first. The Atlanta story does not come out unless I am inebriated, and it definitely won't come out on YouTube where it can be recorded. So the best way to hear the Atlanta story is to the next time I'm doing a panel at a convention that's centered around drinking, get me good and liquored up and toss enough money towards the charity, and I will definitely tell the Atlanta story on stage. He's a lawyer. He'd know where the crack is. Guys, I had a pet crackhead at one point in time. His name was Terry. Terry the pet crackhead. Terry was an older African-American gentleman, and he hung out at the same bar that I went to after work to drink at. And Terry, he was nice, he was but he did a lot of crack. And he was a nice crackhead, but he was a crackhead. You can't deny that he was a crackhead. But anyway, so Terry, one night, he was always fun to talk to. Like, you'd buy beers and he'd, like, mooch a beer off you and stuff. But one night, Terry had tickets to something. So a bunch of us gave him our phone number, saying, if you get tickets, call us, because it's been sold out. He didn't get tickets, but none of us clearly thought through the implications of giving a crackhead our phone numbers. Because then I would start getting random phone calls at like 3 in the morning. Maybe, yo man, this is Terry. What you doing? Terry, it's 3 a.m. I'm sleeping. You want to go get a beer? No, Terry, it's 3 a.m. I'm sleeping. All right, man, I'll talk to you later. Terry'd call you at like 6 in the morning. Yo, man, this is Terry. What you doing? And then, guys, I'm not making fun of him. This is how he talked. What you doing? I'm going to work, Terry. You want to go get a beer? And this is how it go. One night I stopped over at Terry's place, and I forget what for, but there was something I had to go over there and pick up. Maybe it was like he found a DVD player or something that he was selling. Because Terry always had great deals on electronics. But I went over there to pick it up, and man, he had the cleanest apartment you have ever seen. Because he stayed up all night cleaning after smoking a ton of crack. I mean, Terry was like 90% crack, 10% man. There was a place in town called Terry's Bridal. And we used to drive by and I would say, oh, it's Terry's Bridal. That's Terry's Bridal Shop. People in there, I want to, people would be in there, I want the nicest wedding gown ever. How much is this one? That's going to be $20 in a rock. This was Terry. And I lost touch with Terry. I hope Terry's still alive because Terry was a lot of fun. He just had a very serious crack habit. So, yeah, I had Terry the pet crackhead. And he really was. He was a nice guy. But, man, he smoked a lot of crack. Somebody said Terry was lonely. Yeah, I actually can confirm that. There was several times in the bar where Terry would get drunk and he would talk about like how his kids wouldn't talk to him anymore and all of that stuff. And we'd always say, Terry, you could always stop smoking crack. And he'd say something about not smoking crack anymore. And then, of course, he'd go back to smoking crack. And he really was. Like, other than the fact that he smoked a lot of crack, Terry was a very nice guy. So that's the tale of Terry the pet crackhead, who at one point took to calling me baby boy. Like he'd call me and go, yo, baby boy. And I don't know why he took to calling me baby boy, but he that was his term of endearment for me. So Terry was very interesting when it came down to it. And of course QM would be like, is that Terry again? Every time the fucking phone rang in the morning is that Terry? Of course it's fucking Terry. Nobody we know who's not a crackhead is calling us at 4 a.m. So that was kind of my life for a good chunk of time, was getting random phone calls from Terry the crackhead. What else do we have? We're down to like the last 4 minutes. I'll pimp the donation shit again. Because I love pimping myself. The Ko-fi link, you'll see it on the channel up at the top, ko-fi.com/lawyersandliquor. PayPal.me/lawyersandliquor, or there's the Patreon. Just search for Boozy Barrister. You can toss money at me. I'll be eternally grateful. And the next time I'll do a little shirtless dance or something for you, and you can watch the fucking jiggles on my stomach. I'll even paint a goddamn surfboard on my gut, slap it, he can ride the wave in for you. Last question for the night. Tell us the story of your bard. Oh, you want to hear the tale of Dart the Bard? Dart the Bard. Yes, Dart the Bard was a one-shot character originally. He was a bard that had gotten into severe debt and taken out a loan from a mercenary army to pay it off, But to pay off the loan from the mercenary army, he had to serve serve with them for a period of time. However, Dart and several other people, including the dwarf Lasco, had absolutely no skills whatsoever. So all of these members were put together in a cannon fodder unit called the Running Unit, or the Running Squad. And the Running Squad, everybody would assume would run towards danger, but they were named the Running Squad because at the slightest sniff of danger, they would run away. So it was the hope of the mercenary army, which took out life insurance policies on all of its members, that the Running Squad would die suddenly. And if you want to hear more about the Running Squad and Dart the Bard, who learned the spell Grope because fuck it, I wanted to use the spell Grope. And Lasco, the Dwarven mercenary who collected figurines, that is going to have to be for another stream, unfortunately, because we got like 2 minutes left in this one, and I can't tell that story in 2 minutes. But yes, it is the tale of Dart the Bard, and the moldy sausage wrapped, or the sausage wrapped in grandma's moldy fur coat, is the phrase we used. So that is just about where we are right now. We're in the last minute or so. So I'll do what I do with all of these. Guys, it was like really great to have you all. QM, don't you dare tell the bathroom story. I can tell that on stage. Don't you dare tell that story to these people right now. But I'll do what I always do. You guys are great. It's been great being here. The camera is working magnificently. I'm actually looking really forward. It came with a little tripod. So I'm looking really forward to Wednesday setting up the tripod as I do a stream of whatever adventure game I decide to do over on the Twitch channel. And like have a different angle and all that shit. But yeah, that's gonna just about do it for me tonight. So hey, you guys continue being good to each other. You be great to each other. If you want to donate, you know how by this point, but it's either the Ko-fi, paypal.me/lawyersandliquor, or the Patreon. If you don't want to donate, perfectly fucking fine. You don't have to give me your money. I just like it if you do. Outside of that, I'll be back on like Wednesday, and we'll have an adventure game to stream just to switch it up a little from Dream Daddy before we get back to that. So that's all for me. And you guys have a wonderful night. Take it easy.